Holistic Murk Squad with YoGiBear, Instagram's most wanted and shadow banned. What does 1911, the American Medical Association, and techno tongue cutting have in common? Holistic health. Today we're going to be covering alternative medicine and how it became so dismissed, not only by the public, but systemically by those who are in charge and make money. That's right, it's a for-profit industry, and you are the customer. I'm Tay Lon Truth, and I'm here with YoGiBear.
Hello, guys.
And today we're going to be covering those topics and more, kind of a history lesson about how holistic health has been so internet Gestapo'd, like Meta, Facebook, Instagram, all these other places. They like to not allow alternative expression of information or healing. In fact, since 1911 in the Flexner report, which was paid for by Rockerfeller, and I can't even post a picture of this guy because he owns all of his fucking pictures, like in perpetuity. Somebody pays to not let his name or his likeness go out there. But ever since he paid an independent contractor to push forth a note to Congress, which basically said, if you ain't doing allopathic medicine, you a sucker. Which, you know what the funny thing about this is? At the time, do you know what the primary form of allopathic medicine, or basically accepted AMA medicine, was?
What was it?
Bloodletting.
Got it.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. So, you've been shadow banned,
yes,
by Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Both owned by
I actually
Meta.
got kicked off of Facebook during the COVID epidemic.
So walk me through what happened on the, how you figured out that you were banned.
So it all started with me sharing information about elderberry along with data to support whatever it was I was saying. Studies that show that elderberry is successful in treating colds. There's one study, I can't remember who it was done by, where they did a placebo effect, and those that took the elderberry recovered 3 to 4 days faster than those who did not have the elderberry. Talked about the components of it, how it decreases the spread of viruses because of the tannins in it, how it's been used for thousands and thousands of years, the different parts of the plant.
Well, thousands of years, but just for an example, weed, which was patented by the United States government, was also said by the United States government that it has no health benefits, even though the patent itself says that it has health benefits.
Right.
So it's just not profitable to say that a plant can heal you.
Exactly.
At all.
Yes. So it started with me getting flagged, and then one of my friends was like, oh, it's because it's not FDA approved. And then I kept posting about it, and then eventually they deleted my account. I went on there one day and it was gone. And then for Instagram, I just had to learn to not say the word COVID or say the word vaccine. So I would just use it with other words, and everyone knew what I was talking about. But eventually my name wouldn't pop up. If you typed in my name, you couldn't find me. And now it's to the point where you can't even tag me or share my stuff because it says that I have repeatedly
broken the community guidelines.
Yes,
now the community guidelines, which never specifically state anything to do with holistic medicine,
right?
Other than that, it goes against the American Medical Association, which is a fucking mafia.
Exactly.
They specifically collaborate. You know, not only is it disgusting every time they ever release a scientific documentation that their little synopsis won't even be the same as what they're talking about inside of it because they're afraid of losing grant money. It's all a grant scam. Nobody's double checking shit. You've got entire subsets of medicine that are propped up on 1 or 2 published studies that have absolutely nothing good or good for you. Hey, circumcision, we're looking at you with a smile on my face, but we're not talking about you today. Mazel tov.
Yeah, so pretty much anything I do that results in using herbs for healing gets flagged as violent. So, for example, the herbal smokes that I've been making
with mullein,
and I talked about the benefits of each herb that was in, you know, the Medi smokes. It got flagged as being violent, but yet you can post pictures of guns, you can twerk, you can damn near have sex, all on Instagram.
Baby, there is no leg to stand on when I can go on YouTube and like search dick versus dildo,
Right,
and see a dude taking it in the ass with a fucking sheet slapped over in behind him, while the other dude behind him's alternating between raw dog and dildo.
Yeah, and there's even a quote unquote rumor going around that elderberry makes COVID worse. But in my experience in treating
Just like horse dewormer.
oh my gosh, over 30 people with COVID, as long as they stick to the regimen I give them, they've all tested negative and recovered within 7 days.
Well, at the same time, and I know that's going to sound wild, we're talking about elderberries, but even back then with the, when we're talking about 1911 and the Flexner report, they were coming out with essential vitamins like B1, B2, biotin, which is great for your hair and nails. You look at any multivitamin for women, it has biotin, which is for their hair and nails, luxurious hair and nails, right?
Yeah.
You got vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D. These were essential vitamins that are being discovered, but they realized that they needed to cover treatment. They needed to make treatment profitable.
Right.
It's not profitable to fix an underlying issue.
No,
it's
more
profitable to treat over
it
time.
Long term.
Let's give you an example. We've talked about cancer and how cancer is a huge, like $150,000 for chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Right now, it's currently against the law right now to treat as a doctor cancer in any way that isn't one of the big three: chemotherapy, radiology, drugs, whatever they have.
Crazy.
It's against the law for them to mention hot peppers. It's against the law for them to mention
fasting,
anti-parasiticals. It's against the law to mention that dogs have been cured of cancer and how they did it. It's against the law for... It's just wild to me.
Because it doesn't fit the agenda, which is...
Make money.
Make money.
Make people into minerals, which are just farmed from life to death.
Yeah.
Put them in debt and then extract the maximum amount of value that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And you fight that every day. Every day you're providing people with a service, not only as a healer, but as someone who's trying to reach out in the human experience to save as many souls as possible.
Right, right. So, my approach with holistic health is always the root. I typically like to look at someone's zodiac sign, because that totally matters. Their lifestyle, what you eat, all of that plays a role into...
I didn't believe.
I know you did it.
In natal charts at all. I thought it was fancy mumba bumba bullshit.
Right.
The zoology department was not amused. All right? Then I heard an adage: billionaires do use astrology and millionaires use math.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized that in programming, when you go into programming, you have a body of function that
right.
you can give them certain details,
your SIM card.
Yeah, your artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
If you're, a doer or a user, if you're a creator or destroyer.
Yeah.
These things that we have that are traits, and then you start thinking, well, wait a second, we're basically meat water elementals walking around and wiggling. Music hits our body not just through our ear holes, but through our body holes as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So how is it not that gravity wouldn't pull at us like a tide?
Yeah.
And we're just a river of blood.
Exactly.
And then you start going into what astrology is just the geomagnets and the alignment of the planets and how it impacts a person's programming.
Yes.
The tugs, the impulses.
Yeah. That's why I don't believe that, diets are one size fit all. I think everybody, how they eat.
Every tribe
It's all different, and it could even be daily.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what you need for minerals.
right, like we're down here in the sun
All the time. We need something to cool us down.
Right. We need more fruits. We need more water.
Right.
And we both have A+ blood type.
The tropical type.
Right. So we're more fruiticians than carnivores.
I like to call it freegans, although those dumpster divers already took that name.
You and I we don't need a lot of meat in our diet. We need more
hard
fruits
disagree.
And whatever. And we're both fire signs. Fire signs have a harder time digesting animals. So, and we also run hot naturally. So we need those fruits and CO3 and CO2 to help cool us down and to help us with our adrenals.
I would like to look at the birthday of Alexander the Great, because I've heard through the history books that he ran hot. So I'm curious if he was a fire sign.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, actually going back.
And what is that? He probably ate a lot of meat too, because he was.
At the time, he was, if I'm not mistaken, Atheno-Grek, which he was building up the entire Roman Empire by doing a Sea of Conquest. But he was piggybacking off the success of his predecessor. His predecessor, and this is how bad I am. I know enough about Alexander the Great. I have no idea what his name was other than S something. S something was awesome and kept shit down. But yeah, it's wild to me how profitable the medical industry is. For example,
we could talk about my nephew's bill when he was at the hospital.
Oh yeah,
not even a week.
Give a real life example.
Close to $150,000.
And what did he get for $150,000?
The nurse gave him pneumonia.
Which
turned into acute chest syndrome.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We'll say that again. Yeah, and just
by giving him the incorrect medication, even though she was informed not to. A little side note, my own grandmother was slaughtered by a hospital by giving her sleep medication when she had a weakness to it.
Right.
So,
and there's no penalty for that.
Of course not.
But yet I can get penalized.
You get penalized for expressing.
I could actually get sued and have gag orders put on me by the FDA if I say this herb. What?
Don't say it. Allegedly.
Well, yeah, if I say in quotation, this herb cures this. If I say that, I could.
And yet you can have an advertisement on television about a random bullshit medication that has worse side effects than just going outside.
Right. Getting some sun. Yeah, drinking water.
That you can't heal or cure, according to the FDA. You can't use the words heal or cure.
Right.
Heal or cure are banned, and yet at the same time they can make money off of you every single way. Funny enough, they banned herbal medicines in 1911, but what did they legalize once they realized they could extract CBD out of it?
What did they legalize? What was it?
Weed.
Oh, weed.
They took weed and they realized they could make money by splitting it in half and copywriting it.
Right, which is crazy.
But it's profitable. And that's why they don't get shadow banned, because they can pay off the tech organizations. And you're not that big. Again, imagine if you were allowed to run independent using the First Amendment, which allows you to express yourself and your knowledge base. But no, what we need to have is a collective, a YouTube spotted dick collective of old...
It's freedom of speech with consequences.
There's no such thing as freedom of speech with consequences.
Oh, no, because you can say you have the free will to, but it's almost like the Bible.
When you threaten
you don't have to worship me as your God, but you're going to hell if you don't.
When you say that you're an authority and you have no fucking control over what you put out for information, freedom of consequences. Freedom of speech is freedom of consequences.
Right.
It's a threat to impose your will through corporate culture cocksucking, telling me that, oh no, through many studies of diversity, we've found that if we put all of the tribes of rainbow together and we unify, everybody will be happy and sexless and good and productive. And what do we see? We see all women corporations collapsing because they don't have essential leadership. They end up bickering because they don't have a guy to flirt over. So it just becomes an endless inflated, like what happened to that CEO. Fucking Heather something. Had her all-women program. It's because we deny reality for our mindset.
There's also no balance.
There is no balance.
That's the thing. Balance. Well, you need masculine and feminine energy in order to
thrive.
Yes.
There needs to be a king and a queen,
Absolutely.
A witch and a warlock. There is no strength in just having one perspective.
Right.
The duality, the great Leviathan in the room is, the duality of the experience of being man and woman is that we have strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
I don't see fucking dirt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see dirt.
Right.
Right. Dirt doesn't move. Dirt doesn't wiggle. I'm not hunting dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Or the ground when you step on things.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Not looking at that specific thing. The little
or my dog when she's on the floor.
dog who just lies flat like a rug. Always in the most trippable of positions. Yeah.
Right, you need those intuitive eyes to see what you don't see.
Balance. But there's no, again, we're working off normal citizens that are walking around, working, noticing the rising price of eggs while they bullshit the fact that we're not in an economic recession.
That's what they say, that there's an egg shortage. That's just...
There's an egg profit to be made.
Right. We want to make a little
We want to make a lot of money.
But guess what? We're running out of eggs.
Merrick's
so where the
disease
fuck
is
are the
rampant.
chickens?
How come the chicken hasn't gone up in price, but the eggs have?
Right.
Real weird here, guys.
Oh my god.
There's a shortage of thighs, but not a breast.
Right. We got a wing shortage.
We got a wing shortage.
But not a thigh shortage.
Not a thigh shortage. Shit.
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
And we go on elderberry. So what does elderberry do? You've mentioned it earlier for the holistic health, and we're going to cover a little bit more of how you're getting murked. But holistically, without using allegedly any of the words that could get you slapped down by the internet police.
I won't say cure or heal,
because apparently freedom of speech has fucking price tag attached to it. What is an elderberry? What does it grow on?
It grows from a tree, a beautiful tree, a big tree, and it can spread super wide. You can use the berries, you can use the flowers, and I've used the leaves for like wounds. Like one time, my little brother was helping me cut out back, and he actually cut his hand, and I used the leaf to wrap his cut in, and it helped stop the bleeding.
That reminds me of how aloe vera can be used to remove pain.
Yeah.
And also prevent infection. It's just wild to me that, or we often talk about meadowsweet and how meadowsweet has been copyrighted to be, what is it, aspirin?
So yeah, there's a component in meadowsweet that prevents because what does aspirin do? Aspirin thins the blood.
Yes.
Right? So
and eats holes in your stomach.
Yes. So the meadowsweet plant thins the blood, but there's also a component in it that protects the lining of your stomach so that you don't get holes in it. So what they've done is they've extracted the part, I don't remember the name of it, that thins the blood, but it doesn't have the component that...
It's a chemical compound.
Exactly.
Somebody knows.
So that's, so obviously that's definitely a quote unquote treatment used to treat, but also bring you back, because in a few years of using that, you're going to need something else to fucking seal your tummy up. And then you're not going to be able to eat certain foods. And
that's what happened to my grandfather. He ate so much that he couldn't eat poppy seeds without poking holes in his stomach.
I had a great grandmother like that. She had to be careful with seeds and like bagels that had little
everything bagels with all those little mixins.
So I think that's
like
even
a shotgun for the stomach.
I think that's even referred to as leaky gut syndrome, where there are little holes in your stomach and little toxins can seep through, and that's how you get allergic to shit. It might be somewhere along that, yeah.
Well, interesting enough, when we're talking about allergies that develop over time, do you know that cockroaches in projects are the reason that there's shellfish allergies?
Because of cockroaches?
Yeah, cockroaches.
It's because of the parasites?
Not because of the parasites, because of something called chitosan.
Okay.
Now, our bodies have alpha chitosan, which we can process, but we don't have beta chitosan, so we can't process the hard exoskeletons. Our bodies don't absorb them, and they also don't expel them. They just become like little shards inside of us.
They just become stagnant in the lymphatic system and
birds can eat them though, because birds have beta chitneys. They can dissolve the exoskeleton and use it for raw materials. Humans can't. It's fucking wild to me now.
Our bodies are just different.
That when you think about it, gluten intolerance stems from an allergy to the fact that grain is so infected.
Gluten intolerance is just...
No, I'm telling you, there's a difference between celiacs and a lot of this allergy where people are getting this irritation from the chitin.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it just has to do with, like I said, your adrenals become overworked, so then your lymphatic system becomes clogged like a swamp. And once you have so many toxins built up, your skin is going to start pooping. You're going to start getting rashes because it's like, hey, I'm still trying to filter out the shit from 10 years ago, and now you have this new toxin in that my body can't keep up with. So now, guess what? You're all of a sudden allergic to blah 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 because I'm still trying to filter out the old shit. That's why it's really good to do sunbathing and fasting.
Suntan your butthole.
Yeah, suntan your butthole and your genitals.
And your taint.
Yeah, and your taint. Yeah.
It taint a joke. You gotta tighten your yoke.
Depending on how hot it is outside, I wouldn't want to do it on a
cold day.
No,
with an icy mat.
Oh my goodness.
End up being a human pancake just sticking there.
So let's talk about the elderberry.
So let's talk about elderberry.
We kind of got distracted from
all the day.
So the elderberry, the berries specifically, are really good for the respiratory system. The berries specifically have an affinity for the lung, the upper and the lower part of the respiratory system. It's known as like a demulcent, which helps put nutrients in the body, but it's also a diuretic.
Because we're talking about pooping, right?
Yes.
So it helps you open up the poop.
Yes.
Kind of like if you were constipated.
Yes.
Okay, I can imagine my skin just being full of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And all berries, just a disclosure here, all berries are known as refrigerants, so they help cool the body down. Refrigerants?
I fucking hate ants.
Yeah. No, not refrigerant ants. Refrigerants. So they help cool the body down. That's why berries are so good to eat in the summertime. Not only that, but it helps prep you for the wintertime to help protect you against colds and flus and things like that, because they're antioxidants in them that help you fight against
colds. That's why wine, if you drink a glass of wine, you'll get enough antioxidants to kind of express your body from the toxins. That's why they,
But in small amounts, not drinking a whole fucking bottle of wine and getting drunk. You know what I mean?
There's a difference between glass and snooky.
So, again, so like with the elderberries, it helps get rid of mucus, which, mucus is an essential part of the body, but having excess mucus can become problematic.
Like bronchitis, when you're drowning in your own mucus.
Right, because mucus, there are toxins and bacteria in it and things like that. There's good bacteria, but too much of anything isn't good for you.
How do we, going back, not from just elderberry, but to the medical industry at large, we're talking about treatments, and we're talking about, they become an authority figure, a cult. They have a symbol of worship, two fucking snakes wrapped around in a circle, a symbol that specifically says pharmaca. Pharmaca, which was originally established to be a sorceress intent, to deceive someone.
I think it's because...
And they're deceiving them in the omission of how does, for example, parasites interact with people. We don't have a dewormer schedule in America.
Right, but dogs do.
But
Animals
dogs do. Why do you get dewormer for your fucking horse?
Right.
But we're gonna say it's shit for human consumption.
Again, it's all profitable. No one really gets into
toxoplasmosis.
The study.
The study.
I'm from Boston.
Yeah. Hey.
No one gets into...
Get the fuck out of here.
The study of parasites. And I think that's because parasites are...
Oh, they do. You want something
No, but
wild.
I'm saying, like, when you go to a doctor will never talk to you about parasites.
If you want to do a little wild side, look up parasitologists and cause of death.
I feel like you gave me some information about this a year ago. No, a year ago. It was before we were fucking.
Yeah. Before we were fucking, for sure.
Before we were fucking, for sure. When you were trying to get in my pants. You tried to nerd your way into my pants.
Ain't no nerd. I just heard.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, no one really gets into the
doctors, you're right. Doctors do not recommend a dewormer or a schedule. And they don't even tell you that if you drink alcohol, you're suppressing your vitamin C.
Right.
Vitamin C, which humans are the only mammals who do not produce.
Right.
Naturally.
Yes.
And yet, we're not infected by parasites. Why is pig considered an unclean, unkosher meat again?
Because of the parasite.
Why is it that we don't eat scavengers again? It's all told in front of us through common knowledge, and yet it's denied by science because science doesn't make money off of it.
Right.
If you can't be sponsored by a big pharmaceutical company, do you have a right opinion?
Right.
Let's find out today.
So I was talking about how it's a demulcent, elderberry, which, like I said, those are the herbs that they're rich in mucilagogues, which soothe and protect irritated or inflamed internal skin. But it's also a diuretic, like I said, which helps rid the body of excess fluids. So drinking it by itself, you might find yourself using the bathroom more, peeing more, which is all normal because you're trying to get rid of...
It's a diuretic.
Yeah. You might even find yourself even coughing up phlegm, which is...
An expectorant.
Yeah.
Just like Mucinex.
Yes.
Mucinex is an expectorant.
Yeah.
It's designed for you to go...
It contracts the muscles so that it can cough it up.
Like cannabis is a vasodilator. It opens up your lungs. It allows more oxygen to do. And nicotine is a vasoconstrictor. It
and you know what's funny?
What
What those two have in common?
What's that?
There's a little bit of DMT in those.
In both of them.
In berries.
DMT is extracted from lotus flowers.
Yes, it is. But they naturally grow in a lot of alkaline foods. And so what do we know about alkalinity? Alkalinity is
counters
on the
sugar.
As far as like a pH scale, alkalinity is above 7. pH, your pH. What does pH stand for?
Yeah, it was never given a definition.
No, the
guy literally says that he was never going to explain the P in front of the H. That's the beauty of science.
No, there's a word for it. pH stands for pH.
It's the balance of acidic and alkalinity in the body to neutral.
I know that, but it stands for potential hydrogen. That's what it means. Okay. So
I don't believe it.
Anyway,
I think it's fake news.
The higher the pH, the more alkaline the food is. And the more alkaline the food is, the more likely that there is to have DMT inside of it. And when you have DMT, what do we know? DMT is secreted by the pineal gland.
The pineal gland, which is often fucking calcified by
Exactly.
fluoride.
So the more you eat these fruits
Fluoride.
and fast, the closer to alkalinity. But not only that, but I truly believe that there's a spiritual component to it. You have more access to DMT, more access to what I think the connection with the spirit realm, the quantum realm. Yeah. So yeah, and then the closer to alkalinity you are, the less likely you are to get sick, because when you're sick, your body is in it's typically the pH is below 7. So that's why it's important when you are sick to eat a lot of fruits, to refrain from meats, animals, dairy, shit like that.
Anything that's going to make mucus, which is going to help the bacteria to reproduce.
Right, exactly.
And remember, kids, according to the American Medical Association themselves, there has never been a virus isolated in a lab. So what the fuck are they?
Parasites.
Well, what was the theory?
Ooh.
It was the
Speaking
difference
of parasite,
between...
my parasite just moved.
Yeah. She's gonna beat up your lungs, baby.
Yeah.
Today,
Oh
sure.
my gosh.
The terrain theory versus the germ theory.
Yeah.
The terrain being your body is a temple.
Yes.
How you treat it is how it comes out. Like,
And I can speak of that just because when I was treating people or helping people, not treating, when I was helping
Allegedly.
people get over COVID, I was going into their homes, not wearing a mask.
whoa!
Yeah, not wearing a mask. I remember I went to go see one girl. She was a teenager, and the grandma was in there like, "You don't want to wear a mask?" I'm like, "No, I drink elderberry all the time."
One thing COVID taught me is that people are disgusting. You know, I don't really particularly give a shit, but the amount of people who don't wash their hands before they take their dick out to piss is impressive.
Before you take the dick out? Wait.
Yes.
So wait.
Whoa,
I don't have a dick.
whoa.
So wait, you wash your hands
Before
you take the dick
you take
out.
a piss. How you gonna tell me that in the cloth confines of your own ball soup that you're going to be more fucking, you know, things on your hand than your hands, which you've been touching everything. So you're
Right.
going to take your hands, which you've been touching everything, and then you're going to just unzip and start fondling your balls?
Right, I wouldn't play with my coochie
Abso-fucking-lutely.
without washing my hands first.
You wash your hands before
That makes
you
sense.
take a piss. Then you can pee on your hands because your urine is clean and sterile. It doesn't matter.
I don't think
Do
your
a taste
urine-
test. The first one, the first on tap of the day. is
Please
good
don't
for
pee
you.
on your hands.
Pee on your feet to remove foot fungus.
I
If
could
you-
see that.
It works.
I
If
can
you have
see that.
athlete's foot and you pee on your feet, you will remove it. The
I wish-
uriatic acid fucking removes it.
I wish I had known that because I dated a guy in high school who constantly got
All he had to
athlete's
do was pee on his own
foot.
feet.
It was stinky athlete's
Of course
foot.
it was.
Oh my gosh.
The boy didn't learn to pee on his own feet.
Damn.
It kills everything.
Damn.
I mean, the whole reason we wear shoes is so that our feet and our ankles become trained to be slow. Like, we don't thicken our ankles or our muscles or the calluses on the bottom of our feet, so we're just walking around like horses with hooves on. And you're telling me. Yeah. And girls with fucking high heels. Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
It's a torture device for the ankles.
Oh man.
Deliberate.
Especially when you're pregnant.
Well, you don't have balance anyway.
I have great balance.
You're a wrecking ball.
I have great balance.
Everything on the floor needs to be moved out of the way, or it will.
I think you're
become a
talking about
problem.
you.
Yes, I am talking about me. The courtesy, please.
Oh my goodness.
We need to find a way to elevate your dog.
She's old.
Yes, she is.
She's old.
She's
Leave her be.
Her eyes are starting to do that really sad gray thing.
I
that
know.
old- It's okay.
I told her
baby.
to go in her cage the other day, and she kept running into the door.
It's okay, baby. We're not taking her out back. We'll be there for our last rattling breath like a death doula.
As long as she's not in pain, that's the only thing.
Pain is our friend. Only the living feel pain.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So anyway, back to the elderberry. All right, so I covered it was a demulcent, a diuretic. There are tannins in elderberry.
What the fuck is a tannin?
So a tannin is a component which prevents viruses from duplicating.
What is a virus? We just said we cannot even isolate them at all. That's bullshit. The only thing that duplicates is a motherfucking parasite.
Okay, so because of that, so it prevents the parasite from feeding off of the host.
I like this. Let's go in on this.
Yeah.
So you're telling me we can murder these fucking parasites just like the Book of Enoch says that Jesus was doing anti-parasitical removals. That was his ritual. That was the exorcism.
Right. And parasites feed off of sugar.
Whoa, sugar? What's high fructose corn syrup?
Yeah.
What's dextrose?
But not natural sugars.
Fake
processed sugars. Yeah. The ones that your central nervous system can't process.
Or it takes 3 times slower.
Right. So you can eat fucking 20 bananas in a day, but it's completely different from fucking having
a couple candy
20,000. Yeah, a couple candy bars. Exactly. Your central nervous system is like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this?
Candy bars.
We can't. What do we do?
American candy bars are shit when you realize
it actually takes sugar from fruit. Your body will store it and use it as it needs it. Yeah, as it needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they don't even tell people that fluoride, and this is the wild thing, you drooling cultists, when you realize that fluoride, the reason that is promoted is because it's an aluminum runoff. When they make aluminum, there's all this excess toxic material.
Yeah.
And they coerced the water brigades all across the land of America with money. You know, it's profitable to allow it to be dumped in. It binds with your teeth and your bones.
Right.
Which all fluoride toothpaste, when fluoride gets on your teeth, starts this process of cavity after cavity. And what do they do to treat cavities? What do they give you? They give you
fucking fluoride.
Tube of fluoride. That's right. And not only that, but then you start realizing that dentists have one of the highest suicide rates of all doctors. Period.
So what is that? Like, why?
Because they realize that their entire fucking career is a sham.
That's interesting. We need to find some interviews.
Fluoride. Fluoride breaks your bones, breaks your teeth. Fluoride is the #1 recommended in every single toothpaste that everybody gets money and paid for and goes on media campaign drive.
Right.
To cover. That's wild.
We don't use any fluoride. We use fucking coconut
baking
oil.
soda and coconut oil.
That's it. And I'll say this. I have never had a cavity.
Got one on me.
Never
I love
had
my
a cavity.
sugar treats.
I've never had gingivitis. I've never had plaque or any of that extra shit just sitting around on your teeth or anything like that.
We have no motherfucking heroes. None of these goddamn actors that go out and say brush your damn teeth and floss. All these wannabe social idols can't even come and give, hey, basic hygiene tips if I was your daddy. It's fucked up, man.
It is. Oh, man. So let me finish a little bit more about elderberry.
I will never just let you.
I know.
You're going to have to seize it.
I'm going to take it.
Exactly.
All right. So I talked about the elderberries, but the other part of the elderberry tree, the flowers. So the flowers, you can make a really nice tea with the flowers. They smell and they look beautiful and they smell amazing. But the flowers can be used for treating fevers. Because there are lots of...
Not treating.
The flowers allegedly not treating. The flowers can be used for fevers.
Yes, remember, declarative. We can't use words. We can't use words because words are bad.
But the beautiful thing about elderberry is that it's mild enough that you can use it for infants, for babies. Especially the flower for
you
fever.
Can't give babies
honey.
Yeah, honey until they're 1 year old.
Yeah,
I didn't even fucking realize that.
Their stomachs are still developing. That's why they can't have solid food.
Then
water.
Why do strangers walk up and want to touch kids?
I don't, because children carry a very high vibrational frequency. It's the innocence. It's the purity. That's why. I mean. certain people like to sacrifice them or, suck adrenochrome off of
Cultists.
them.
We call them cultists. This is the symbolism. We're pointing out that Baphomet worshippers and Moloch worshippers.
Children are very pure. They're still, they literally just dropped in from the astral
other realm.
world. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're also expendable, right?
Right.
Just like China loves to have rivers of them with 1 or 2 organs missing. Tell me, what was the one-child policy again?
Oh my gosh.
Organ harvest trafficking, and how much money does China make? $2 billion. Holy what?
Right.
And they're having money problems? Shit.
But yeah, you can make a tea with the flowers. You can, dry them out or use it fresh. Fresh is always best, but if you don't want to, you can just let them dry out.
You can make them herbs or potpourri.
Yeah. And then for the elderberries, you can't really make a tea out of it. You have to make like a decoction. So decoction is basically, because they're hard berries, you just do like a slow simmer. I always start off with a boil, and then I simmer them for about an hour so you can get all the components out of it. You do not want...
About an hour.
About an hour.
About an hour.
You don't want to eat the actual elderberry.
Do not, or you'll smell like your grandfather.
No, you'll poop a lot, but the seeds, not that it's poisonous, but you'll get a pretty bad stomach ache. Yeah.
Don't eat apple seeds.
Yeah, you're gonna shit your brains out.
Do not. Do it.
And there are actually 3 different types of elderberry trees. There's a red one and there's a white one. I believe the red one is the poisonous one. That's the one you do not want to eat. But they can grow anywhere. As long as you show it love, she will spread and just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Elderberry is one of your go-to products. Full disclosure, YoGiBear HolisticHealth.com. YoGiBear Holistic Health has your holistic health needs in mind, and that's it. I'm not a fucking shill. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, you can go to my website and order. I make 32-ounce bottles, 16-ounce bottles, and 4-ounce bottles. But I highly recommend just getting the big bottle. You can store it, honestly, for up to 8 months in the refrigerator.
I think of it as a tool in a toolbox.
Yeah.
My life is enriched based on how often that I appreciate the knowledge of the human experience.
Mm-hmm.
How much I give credit to the knowledge of my ancestors and how they treated and cured and took care of themselves for generations. Like tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Tobacco, the longleaf tobacco, which grew naturally, never had the same cancer link until uranium-depleted fertilizer and additives were slapped into every single cigarette.
Yeah.
And yet...
Or when they stopped removing filters from it. Remember, I have a Playboy magazine that has an ad in it.
For asbestos
it was
filters.
Some cigarette where they had charcoal filters in it. And
charcoal filters are good.
And what do we know about charcoal? Charcoal will remove
Tokyo has
toxins from anything.
Tokyo, on all of their cigarettes, have a charcoal filter, and their rate of cancer is drastically reduced compared to American smokers.
I believe it. Oh, sorry, Mama Bear gets
hey, man, this is a beautiful thing. Really, this is for just to show off. Instagram loves to shadow ban knowledge because knowledge is power. And the thing about knowledge is that free knowledge is not appreciated. Mm-hmm. Free knowledge is disregarded because the price in blood, sweat, and tears wasn't paid for. It was presented to you on a platter. Here at Gods and Prophets, I'm going to shove your ear hole so full of fucking knowledge that maybe 1 or 2 things will stick. And at the end of the day, your experience is enriched and I don't give a shit. Because it sounds like a you problem otherwise.
Yeah. But, yeah, what else did I want to say? Basically, how you recover from illnesses. I'm trying to say the right word so I don't get in trouble.
How you pass the time.
How you recover
and
thrive from different illnesses or, setbacks.
Maladies, plagues.
It's based on
monkeypox.
It's based on your tissue state. So, like I said, just like diet is not a one-size-fit-all,
Or is it
neither
N-pox now?
is recovering from.
Right, even if they're half human.
I wanted to
A
kind
beard
of
person.
lead into treatment approaches, or sorry, not treatment approaches,
Never
but
apologize.
approach, based on the body systems.
Which is?
Okay, so different herbs have different categories. For example, you have something called a bitter, and bitters, they trigger sensory responses in the central nervous system, which sends a message to the gut, and the gut releases digestive hormones that lead to a range of effects, including the stimulation of an appetite, or stimulation of the flow of the digestive juices. They're also really good for the liver because it aids in detoxification, and it increases bile flow, and stimulates the gut self-repair mechanisms. Bile secretion is important because there are thousands of enzymes in your bile that help break down food.
Bile?
Bile.
Bile
B-I-
is what?
B-I-L-E.
The fuck is bile?
Bile is it's a component
something I eat?
in the liver. No, like you have stomach bile, you have liver bile, but it's like a compartment of enzymes that secrete based on certain foods to help your body digest and assimilate the food where it should go.
So the bile is my body's kung fu at
Basic.
dissolving other things.
Yes, exactly.
Basically how it chops through the wood.
Yes,
okay.
yes, exactly.
So it's chopping through the wood,
Yep.
and this helps me chop
The enzymes
harder.
are like, hi, yeah, you go here. Hi, yeah, this is this. Da, da, da,
Okay.
da, da, da. Yeah.
So I'm going with the flow here, and you're
Mm-hmm.
saying this allows me, it gives my hand the
Yeah.
almighty cut that finally I can break that one slice of balsa wood.
Yes. So if you are constipated, you could use a bitter.
Most people are full of shit. This would be
Yeah,
funny to see how many of them
exactly.
are constipated.
If you're constipated, you could apply a bitter such as we could say yellow dock. Yellow dock is a bitter. That's a root herb. It's a very, very, very strong bitter. And that would help secrete bile, and it would also trigger the nervous system to go, hey, let's start digesting some things right now. And then that could be used in a dry tissue state, but because it's not a complete drying type of root, or an overwatered tissue state. And you have things like, I know everyone's heard of like astringents, but the astringents, a lot of people take astringents and they don't really need to, because
Well, again, when you say people as a collective, they go into patterns.
yes, because you get these trends going.
Trends
You
like
know what I mean?
fucking kale, which
Nobody
was a
nobody has an
garbage-sized garnish.
overwatered tissue state in this society because everybody eats too fucking much.
And
Everybody's
then also
consuming
too much salt.
Yes, exactly. So the astringents, they have a binding action on the mucous membranes, the skin, and other tissues. And it shrinks the tissues. It like sucks in it. Now astringents are good for like an astringent topical. So for stretch marks, flaccid skin.
Is cocoa butter an astringent?
I would have to look that up. I think it might be a little bit of an astringent because
It would be wild to me if the building blocks of our human experience, when you break it down, are consistent across the board. Like, that would just fucking blow my mind. It would blow my mind if there was some sort of the pH level, the parasites, the fact that in Israel they've done multiple times of testing about
Yes, it is an
doctors who have
astringent.
taken strikes,
Mhm.
doctor strikes, which lead to lower death ratios in elective surgery. It is an astringent?
Yes, it is.
Yeah!
Yeah, it is. And then you have something called a carminative, which those are some of my favorite herbs because of the volatile oils. So for example, cannabis is a carminative.
What?
Yeah, so volatile oils are the herbs that they help open up the channels of elimination. So they can help relieve gas, They reduce inflammation and they ease gripping pains. And also, like you said earlier, it was a dilator. Opens up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which allows you to expel. I gotta tell you, and this is personal, that there was a time in which I was drowning in my own lungs. And cannabis and the vasodilators that it offers were the only reason that I didn't drown while I was sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of the reasons why, even working with kids, I hardly ever got sick. I mean, I work with children.
You work with children?
Yeah. For
That's
years.
wild.
Yeah. Children on the spectrum.
What did you do?
I was a behavior therapist. And then eventually became the lead trainer for the company. So I would train other therapists on how to work with the kids. I trained parents on how to follow the programs. But yeah, a lot of in and out of houses. Kids always get sick. Especially based on their diets and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think a lot of that had to do with smoking a lot of weed. A lot of the parents knew that I smoked weed, and they didn't care because they smoked weed.
They couldn't even handle the fucking kids to begin with. GG.
Oh my god, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't care if you smoke weed." I wasn't smoking there.
But see, that was what before. Just we get to the point where we've allowed. What is it? Reefer madness to infect an entire generation.
That's a funny film.
Oh, it is.
It's a funny.
You better not smoke weed, kids.
You're gonna rape a bunch of white women.
Yeah, we're coming for your booty hole. We're gonna go deep into your kundalini and lock you into this world, making you an abuse subject, and then constantly seducing you with images on your fucking TV screen.
Oh my goodness. But other herbal carminatives are sage. So, people like
sage in all fields.
Yep. But the volatile oils, I forgot to mention this. They also help eliminate airborne bacteria.
What?
Airborne bacteria. So you sneeze, how you sneeze, you could sneeze on someone and give them a cold.
How many sneezes
does it take?
I
think the terrain theory depends on your specific body.
And the fact that I'm a badass who just eats that.
Yeah, whatever. Lavender is a carminative. Rosemary is a carminative. Cedar wood is a carminative. So keep your Christmas trees. You can cut the branches and all that shit off of and wrap that shit up just like sage.
Boiling pine needles give you an anti-parasitical.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have things like diaphoretics, which promote perspiration, which sometimes you'll sweat a lot with those.
If anybody's
it helps
confused,
eliminate waste from the skin.
And you want to understand these words, just learn Latin. Latin is the root language for a lot of law and a lot of medicine. In fact, that's part of their fancy education is a knowledge basis in just learning a fucking language.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Cardiology is for the heart.
Right.
Diaphoretics would be the diaphragm.
Yes. So the diaphoretics, they help improve circulation. So if you're someone who struggles with poor circulation,
old people,
like how I used to, I would get cold feet and cold hands.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of that
icy at nighttime.
Yeah, but not anymore, hardly any, because I'm fucking circulating all the time, this blood.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of that has to do with
Gushers.
the iron not being evenly distributed through your body. So instead of taking iron pills and focusing on iron, you should focus on foods that have copper in it, because copper is what helps carry iron throughout the body.
They took my copy sucking pennies.
Right. So we don't really carry around change anymore, like pennies and stuff like that had copper in it. And even the pennies now have very little copper in it. So get yourself a copper bracelet, a copper necklace, a copper ring.
A copper tongue.
Shut up. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so basically, like I said, the diaphoretics, they increase circulation throughout the body.
So what would be, for example, and just going over what we've talked about, what would be your number one
I hate astringents because, again, I run hot, I run dry because I'm a double fire sign.
So you wouldn't want to fuck with things like kratom.
No, remember I told you kratom dried me up, and it'll make me more agitated.
Yes.
So I wouldn't do that.
Like a willing flower.
Even chamomile. I don't really drink a lot of chamomile because that's an astringent.
And astringents being the dryers.
Yes, dry you out. Yeah.
Bitters.
Bitters. My go-to bitter. I like burdock root because it's mild.
I like it because he's the best character in Dragon Ball Z.
It's mild, but it's also a demulcent, so it helps soothe and protect the tissues while it's draining shit out. It also kind of has a good taste, especially when you mix it with honey. And then I also like to chew on the root too. So like I'll make a burdock root and I'll eat the root too, because the root part, like once you boil it down enough, they kind of taste like little nuts.
Where does garlic fall in on this?
So I don't ever recommend garlic, just because. So
garlic stop vampires, like psychic vampires, from infesting and trying to steal your energy.
Yeah, but garlic will continue to eat through your mucous membranes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will stop, or it can help, but it'll keep eating through. Like if you just set a piece of garlic on your skin.
Yeah.
Or on it, like you'll see, like it'll just eat through, almost like pineapple.
Yeah, I love pineapple.
Yeah.
It tries to eat me.
Right. So,
pineapple has an acid that will start dissolving your tongue if you let it sit in your head.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't ever recommend it to,
the snack that eats back.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
For sure. I love garlic. Recommended for everybody. Your favorite diuretic. Number 1.
My favorite
Long time.
diuretic.
Yes.
Hibiscus.
Yeah.
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus
it's
springs.
so good, or sorrel, as some people call it. But it really, really helps increase the urinary production. It helps you go poop. It's so good for the reproductive area and for the heart.
Horny goatweed's also good for the reproductive area. I've heard.
You love horny goat.
Hell yeah! Hook me up.
Yeah.
I'm jonesing.
What else you got for me? I like those questions.
If I was to not want to take aspirin, but I wanted to, or ibuprofen, and I wanted to do an anti-inflammatory, like a good anti-inflammatory, something that is very easy to take.
What's inflamed?
The body.
The whole body's inflamed.
Say I was working out and my entire body's just feeling the burn. What am I going to take? I'm not going for localized. I'm going for a whole body.
A whole body, I would recommend a CBD and THC 1-to-1.
So, cannabis.
Yes, because THC acts as the catalyst that makes CBD work better.
And what does CBD do?
CBD it's an endocannabinoid.
Yeah. So
it helps modulate or regulate the function of cells, tissues, glands, organs, and systems. THC is the phytocannabinoid, so it works all over the body.
Phyto?
Yeah, phytocannabinoid.
Nice.
And phytocannabinoids are responsible for most of the psychotropic effects.
We don't have receptors in our body to store cannabinoids.
No. But the two main receptors, cannabinoid 1 and cannabinoid 2, respond very well to the endocannabinoid system, which is in the cells, tissues, glands, organs, and pretty much all the body systems.
So you're saying smoke has a purpose?
Yes, but I would say instead of smoking, I would ingest it.
Ingest it?
Yeah, so like an edible.
An edible?
Yeah, or
what would be your best
concentrate.
edible?
My best edible?
Yeah, what edibles have you made?
So I've used a concentrate,
okay,
like a 1-to-1 ratio concentrate, and I've put it in food, or like the little edibles that you can get from.
I just had a crazy thought. What if they started adding artificial sugars to the liquid cannabinoids?
What do you mean?
Like, what if that chemical that they're extracting to make liquid, since they're not just rending 𝐂𝐓 down, what if, hypothetically,
this is the air moon shit, guys.
They start adding sugar to it to make it more addictive?
That could be possible.
And then once it's addictive, then it's better for the parasites.
But what type of sugar are we talking about?
Well, the type of sugar that they could slip through. So it'd have to be an oil-based sugar.
Okay.
Probably fructose or syrup.
So something that the parasite likes.
Yes.
Okay. Which wouldn't be beneficial
I
to
mean,
your nerve.
after all,
I feel like there would be some sort of disagreement with the...
herpes is a parasite.
Yeah, yes. Air moon shit, guys. I feel like it would kind of contradict the whole CBD interaction. So I would stick to like a natural, like a honey or like an agave or a cane sugar, something like that. I wouldn't do like a corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup.
Damn.
Oh, man. So yeah, that's what I would recommend.
All right, but say that I have to piss test.
Okay.
What would you recommend?
Quit your job before you get tested. Or if you have a sibling who doesn't smoke, go ahead and get some of that urine.
Exactly. Slip them a 20.
Slip them a 20.
GG,
Get them a gift card.
You know what I'm saying? Pee in this for me.
Right. Buy them a
We'll
game.
never talk about this again.
Right.
Just get this
Wear
shit
it on
going.
the inside of your thigh so it stays warm.
Get a friend who constantly gets COVID and then just get their test so that you can get out of work whenever you want.
Oh my goodness.
Do what you need to do. Lie flat for justice.
Oh my goodness. Whatever you gotta do.
Malicious non-compliance.
Hey, pee in this cup. Don't ask me no questions.
Free pee.
Free pee, so free pee to free me.
Free pee to free me. Wait, we need to start a not-for-profit or a non-profit and just say that it's free pee THC, and it's a weed clinic that provides anybody who comes there free pee so that they can pass a piss test.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Could you get in trouble for that?
No, because it's a charity organization.
Okay.
The idea is to have a healthy, holistic cleansing of the body of cannabinoids. So we're promoting cleaning your system out, right?
Right.
That's what we focus on. The message is repair, help. You know, we'll put a jangly fucking guitar tune and Totoro in the background, and we'll have enough dancing media slaves to handle everything.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like a plan.
It does.
I thank God that I never ever had to worry about taking a pee test. Or being tested at work. Even when I was working, you know, at the school or whatever.
The Fourth Amendment constantly being violated by corporations.
Yeah, I just remember my boss saying, "Do you know how many therapists would get fired because of their?" You know what I mean? She was like, "I don't give a fuck what y'all do, as long as you show up to work on time and you do your job." And I'll be honest with you, the best therapists,
mainline methamphetamine,
were the ones without degrees and the ones who were smoking weed all the time. Like, they were relaxed. They were just pleasant, and I don't, you know what I mean? The ones that came in there with the degrees and all the bells and whistles.
Checklists.
Yes, have checklists, you know, and they were very just by the book. They weren't creative, you know what I mean? Like,
well, what we're talking about, allopathic medicine is checklist medicine.
Yes.
It's a constant, what they do is they go symptom by symptom, and they have a short bit of checklist that give you these are the highest statistical through only our medicine and treatment and analysis results.
Right.
And it's a rigged game from the start because they don't acknowledge I mean, even back then, they were mocking chiropractic, they were mocking acupuncture,
Right.
these things which have become popular, yoga,
Yeah.
these things of which become lifestyle, influential,
Yeah.
because it makes money now. When it didn't make money, when it was a counterintuitive during the bloodletting,
Yeah.
GG no rate. It's as bad as fluoride and why dentists have an 8% suicide rate.
Yeah.
All from getting shadow banned on Instagram for expressing that, hey, you want to take care of your body temple. If you want to ride in this great journey and be the most hellacious badass you want to be, you better be taking care of your body with some holistic medicine.
And good wholesome foods, you know. It's
yeah.
amazing what fasting can do to the body.
And slow.
Like I know a girl who hasn't pooped in 4 days, and the doctor told her to eat more protein. And I'm like, why would you eat more if you haven't taken a shit? How about you don't eat because you have shit backed up in you? Let your body rest and let your body focus on digesting and eliminating.
That's way too much of a conveyor
just
belt.
Drink some water. You won't die. I mean, my dad has done a 40-day water fast.
Yeah.
Right.
You will die if you don't drink water within 3 days.
if you don't drink water,
you will die.
You can go 7 days without drinking water.
3 days.
If you prep like beforehand, like drink a lot of water.
If you go water soluble, yeah.
Yes.
But that's like
But
saying,
3 days.
But they'll go into
you might
hydrostatic
die.
shock because most people will go way too watery and not have enough salt content.
Yes. So I'm sure there's a method to prepping. You know what I mean? But there's so many benefits to fasting, just drinking water, or
the whole religious ceremony of Ramadan is the observance of fasting during the day.
Yeah, get rid of them parasites. You poop more when you fast, even intermittent fasting. If you feel like you can't do a whole day or a whole 2 days without eating. That's the thing. People think, oh my God, you're going to starve, or always hear, well, you'll gain weight when you start eating again. No, the only reason why you gain weight, bitch, is because you fucking wake up and you eat a big ass meal. When you come back from your fast, it's always liquids, a smoothie, soups, you know what I mean? Slowly introducing solid foods, not some fucking eggs, bacon.
How come they call it fast if it feels so slow?
I don't know. Air moon, guys. Air moon sign. I love you.
I love you.
Mwah.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Drink water. Drink coconut water. Breathe.
Breathing.
Diaphragmatic breathing.
Which is the sleep breathing.
Yeah.
Slow belly breathing in order to calm yourself. You can die of a broken heart, and you can go into shock by breathing shallow.
Not only that, but diaphragmatic breathing also balances out your pH in your blood. So.
And it slows down your heart rate and pulse.
Yeah. Especially when you're overworked. That's something that I've definitely embraced while being pregnant, because I get winded, and I often have to remember that the baby's taking up space in the belly. So I have to take those moments in time and really focus on my breath so that my blood pressure doesn't get out of control. I know that's why I'm so healthy, because I'm super mindful about my breath. I'm not like, I in through the nose.
Being a hippie has a power of its own.
It totally does.
I mean,
it's so empowering.
And being a 100% open witch.
Yeah.
And warlock. It really is. We don't have to subscribe to your cult symbols, but you can subscribe to ours by clicking that subscribe button.
Yeah. Subscribe. Hit the like button.
Yeah. And now, if you want high quality custom holistic medicine delivered to your door, first off, I recommend going right into YoGiBearHolisticHealth.com for all of your holistic health needs. I'm Tay Lon Truth.
And I'm YoGiBear Holistic Health.
And today, we've covered something interesting. Remember, Trust the science, especially because it's bought and paid for you. Brought to you by...
YoGiBear Holistic Health.
No, you're not